Oh, yeah. Cheers. See if anyone's going to show up. I don't know why they would. I ain't got no friends. Ain't nobody give a shit. What is up, fellow peeps? Get my tanks filled here. Ready to vape. Pretty much probably won't be leaving this fucking table for the rest of the night. This couch, that's what I'm fucking sitting on. Sitting on a couch. I've never really noticed how lightweight the Nova kit is. Shit is like a feather in your hand. Yeah, that's right. I'm a fat bitch. Unashamed. Unashamed. Well, let's just dive right into it. I don't have a computer to really bring up too much of what's been going on. But I've been paying attention enough to really... So at least, I can't have it in my face, but I can at least talk about it and bring up some of the bullshit that's been going on. Maybe try and bring some light into some current situations revolving around vaping and being in the news and such. So, over the last couple of weeks, within the last week or so, there's been like 11 kids have been hospitalized over in Wisconsin because they've been basically vaping. Oh, what the fuck? Like bought off the street THC cartridges, CBD oil, shit like that, and then they pretty much they're vaping on something that they really have no fucking idea what the hell it is they're really vaping on. And then all of a sudden, before they know it, they're having issues in their lungs. Now, this is some of the first cases that we've really seen where it's been, people are having issues with, shit that's going on from vaping in terms of people have been vaping, and then, now there's a injury or a result because of it in relation to the lungs. There was a case, someone thought this woman had what was called the wet lung. Grim Green has a video up on it, which is really good. Which they basically tear the whole article apart because it's pretty much complete bullshit. And, those kids basically bought these, little cartridges that are like that big. You put in these tiny little pins, and it's basically like vaping CBD oil, except no one knows what the fuck was in it because they bought it off the street. They didn't buy it from a certified vendor or knowing that it was clean or knowing what the hell was in there. They just, we don't even know if it was some random guy off the street or they bought them online or what, but they know that it wasn't clean product and it wasn't, they don't know what was in there. And then these kids just started vaping shit that they didn't know, and now that they're having issues with their lungs. Well, that comes across the border for all terms of vaping. Not only as people that just vape nicotine juice, which is just what I use, or nicotine liquid, and nic salts, which same thing, just how the nicotine is within the liquid is just a little bit different. But it's, it crosses streams over to all vaping products, even though it was technically, a CBD product or a THC oil product, which I think you shouldn't be able to clump into nicotine liquid vaping, simply due to the fact that you're vaping it for two different reasons. I vape nicotine liquid to get a nicotine buzz because I have a nicotine addiction, and I like to vape. It's delicious, it's fun, it's a hobby thing. I enjoy it. Whereas a lot of people that vape CBD oil or THC oil, normally, a majority of it, because I don't have the numbers right in front of me or anything like that, but a majority of it is for medical reasons. People have, whether it be, I have a lady at work, she has rheumatoid arthritis, and she uses CBD oil for it. There are plenty of other people that use it for medical reasons. But, we don't use nicotine for medical reasons. It's just something that, it's if we have anxiety or if we're feeling depressed or, trying to transfer over from cigarettes over to vaping, it's the nicotine that really is what it is we're really looking for. It's just a matter of how it is we're getting it. Some good stuff. These people that are claiming that, we're having pains in our lungs, we're having all these problems, we can't breathe. Well, if you're putting something that you don't know inside of your body, that's a risk that you're taking by inhaling something that you don't know. It's no different than if I were to inhale from an aerosol can, not knowing what's in there, or huffing paint. Guess what? You're going to have some problems with your lungs because you're inhaling something that, by definition shouldn't be in there, that's one of the things that I do enjoy about the Royal College of Physicians in their, initial article that they put out that they've been using for vaping. It is 95% healthier. It's not 100% healthier. It's not 100% safer. There's definitely risk. But I also do believe that we have, so many people say, vaping has been around long enough in order for us to, understand the side effects. That's bullshit. Vaping has been in the United States for 10 years. That's long enough to understand. That's more than long enough in order to be able to start taking a look at it and understanding the long-term effects of vaping on people's bodies. Now we know, at least most of us all know, all the liquid, all the ingredients in one of these liquid bottles. Okay. Propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, concentrated flavors in liquid form, and nicotine additive. Alright, so let's just take, for example, so I got here, it's a strawberry watermelon lemonade, kind of. So we have propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, nicotine, strawberry, watermelon. Okay? There's 5 ingredients. And we know all 5 ingredients in here. They're all FDA approved. And if they weren't FDA approved, I'm pretty sure these would all be taken off the shelves immediately. I think we kind of have that. That so far is kind of like a loophole that we've been able to use. Just in my opinion, I haven't been in vaping long enough to really be able to give you a wholehearted example of, how it is that we've been, able to get away and use these products for so long. But that's just IMO. It really sucks because, we have these incidences that are happening that affect people that don't even give 2 shits about CBD or vaping THC oil or anything else of the sort. They don't care. They're not vaping any of that stuff. They're vaping nicotine because they want to quit cigarettes, trying to just become a healthier person by switching to a harm reduction alternative to smoking. And it hurts our whole industry to see this shit happen, which is why I think it is important, that we're able to implement these, using underage laws to make sure that people who aren't of age and who don't truly understand what the hell it is they're getting into, they're not just going to jump into it head first and just go, oh, I want to buy a Juul because all my friends have Juuls. Because that's, excuse me, a little bit of a runny nose. That's one of the biggest reasons of how Juul is marketed to basically the younger crowd, per se. Is, oh, my friend has a Juul, so I want to have a Juul, and then it, just get as strong of a nicotine buzz as possible. Because in a Juul pod, you'll have, it's 50 milligram nic salt, which is the same, actually I think this is 50 in here, same which I have in here, except it doesn't hit like a Juul, it hits way better. These kids they sit there and they just Juul all day. They just hit and hit and hit and just hit those pods all day, not realizing that pods aren't meant for that. A pod is something that you pick it up, you hit it 2 or 3 times, and you set it down for a while. You get a really good buzz, and then half hour later, you pick it up, hit it a couple more times, and then you'll let it be. Whereas, I use 3 freebase nicotine in all my drippers, squonks, and sub-ohm tanks. 3 milligrams is perfect. 6, it's a little too harsh, and 3 is, because there is no nicotine, I don't get anything from it. So, I use 3. It's more than enough. Gets me through the day. Gets me through stressful situations, whatever it might be. And and I have found how that works. Over my time of vaping. I've been vaping for how long now? About a year now that I've been hardcore vaping. I've had other smaller, similar vapes, but I was never really able to stick to it. And just in that time frame, I've taken the time to try different juices and to see which ones work best for me, which ones I don't like, what flavors I like, what strengths I like, and understanding that, a 3 works best for me. I don't want to be, vaping on something that's going to make me cough and make me miserable all day. That semi-defeats the purpose. There's been, I think it was yesterday, I went around, yesterday or today, it came to light, this kid was hitting, he was using a Juul, at about, 1 pod per 2 days, the equivalent of 10 cigarettes worth of nicotine, which is what it is. They're trying to blame this on the nicotine, which nicotine doesn't affect your lungs like that at all. I can guarantee you, if you take the look at the lungs of someone that vapes, at someone that doesn't smoke, you're not going to find them little black spots in there. Okay, nicotine doesn't do that. Okay, we know that. We've seen proof. The blackening of the lungs is caused by the actual burning of the flammable and combustible tobacco product. Plus, as we all know, my legs are fucking itchy as shit. Cigarettes are more than just tobacco leaves. There's, we got filler, which, things like cardboard and paper, things to make it, firm and taste, things that they add the other chemicals in to make shit that just makes it so much more fucking addicting. I can definitely tell you while I was smoking, every cigarette just tasted like fucking shit, but so good at the same time. And now it's like, now that I've, just been vaping more and more and more, and I just have this array, this huge collection of vapes, basically. I even just smell cigarette smoke, and I'm just like, oh, God, it just smells like shit. Because you can start to smell all the horrible, all 4,200 chemicals that are in there, and it's just all smells like complete shit. And I don't know any medical evidence that has ever linked vaping to having any forms of black marks on the lung. Now this is the guy down in Florida, and I'm not a medical scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I can only go based off of the facts that I know and how the body works. There's no ingredients in any of the liquids that we use to vape that could cause that. That's they never went into how if this person had other medical issues. If that's, say, his parents have some kind of a breathing problem that's, genetic, we have no idea what this person's background is. But the first thing they do is they jump on, it's vaping. Why? Because vaping is the easy target, it's the easy scapegoat. And we, as vapors, have to stand up against it and say, whoa, what about his medical history? What about, does he have a genetic list of issues that, his parents have? Because let's say you have something wrong with your lungs. There are people that have issues with their lungs who have never smoked, and they can still get lung cancer. There are people that can never even be around a cigarette and still have some form of lung issue. The body just fucking fails from person to person. It just happens. It's just the way it is. Not a whole lot we can always do about that other than just trying to take care of ourselves and, there we go. And, just doing basic, regular checkups, just going to your doctor and checking things out, making sure your body's okay. I think there's just way too much information that we don't know before we can just jump on, he was using a Juul, so it has to be that. Now, that kid can claim that he never smoked ever before in his life. Well, that kind of leads back to a previous point of, if he had never smoked, if he was only 18, why was he having a Juul? Who knows what else he was doing before he picked up a Juul and started using that. We don't know. It was never disclaimed to any of us. It was never revealed. And so we have to call these people out on their bullshit and say, hey, where's the rest of the information? What's this kid's real story? Other than, he would go through one Juul pod every 2 days, and now he has fucking black shit all over his lungs. I'm calling straight bullshit. And I think we all need to do the same and stand up and say, hey, this is bullshit. Where's the rest of the story? Where's the rest of everything that's going on? And that's our job as vapors, is because we're the only people that's going to go fight for us. There's no... Right now in America, there is no no doctor that's going to fight for us. There's no science groups that are fighting for us in America. It has to come down to us as the vapors. And without that, I think it's, excuse me, without that, we're fucked. Are we willing to fight for our freedom to vape, or are we just gonna sit back and just say, I'm not gonna do it, but someone else is gonna take care of it. That's actually what is it? It's actually like it's a mentality of the masses. Is I'm not gonna do anything for it because I know that someone else is gonna take care of it. We can't think like that. We have to all come together and say, hey, if it's not someone else, then it has to be me. I'm going to be the person that does something. Because at the end of the day, it does come down to us. No one else is fighting for us other than us. And I think it's important to always spread awareness and advocacy about, hey, going into your local shops and say, hey, do you guys card people? Do people, come in and understand what it is they're getting and understanding what it is they're trying to do? Are they just wanting to pick up vaping for the sake of picking up vaping, or do they actually want to quit smoking? Making sure that people who out there who do vape, do they understand how they're, what it is they're doing when it comes to vaping, whether it be through mechanical mod, and that they understand their ohms laws and their batteries and everything else of the sort. Or just, hey, like what strength of nicotine are you on? Because I see you're always coughing while you're using it. Maybe you should try lowering it a little bit. Or just being willing to help out someone that's just, hey, I'm having problems with this pod. Here's my problem. Do you guys have any help? I think that's what it all surely comes down to, is us as a community. We have to come together on this and call bullshit and say, hey, let's hear the whole story. Let's help each other out and fight for all right to use 95% safer than combustible tobacco alternatives. With that being said, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Hope you'll have a good rest of the night. Talk to you next week.